Um, this is World Rank checking in, discussing the Urango Devon Alexander fight um, on HBO last night. Um, Devon Alexander coming in 19-0, 12 knockouts against Alexander-Urango. I think it was 22 and 2 and 1, 17 knockouts for the WBC title, which uh, Alexander has, and the IBF, which Alexander-Urango has. Expectations going into the fight, a lot of people was the thinking was that Devon Alexander was just going to outbox him all day. Alexander-Urango slow feet, slow hands. Um, Devon Alexander was just going to basically outwork him. No one predicted, or no one would think, Alexander would knock out Rango. Rango has a very good chin. Only been down, I believe, once or twice in his career. The last fight with Randall Bailey, he was down, but got back up and knocked Bailey out. And Bailey's a very hard puncher for the division and one of the hardest punchers in boxing. So I guess, the impression was Devin was just going to outbox him to a 12-round decision. Once the fight started, everything first couple of rounds going, going as planned basically. Devon Alexander boxing from the outside using his jab, doing his thing, looking like he's on cruising. Urango pressure fighting, trying to get his shots in, trying to work in, slow starter, trying to work in to get, that one shot. He was hitting Alexander with some solid shots. I was surprised how early in the fight he was hitting Alexander. I was thinking around 7th, 8th, 9th round he started hitting him with hard shots, but maybe in the round 3, round 4 he already started hitting him with the hard shots. Alexander, to his credit, was taking him better than I thought he was going to take him. And later on, 7th, 8th round, he hit Rango with an uppercut and dropped him. I'm like, wow, he hit him with an uppercut, and Rango's down. I'm like, I can't believe Rango's down, basically, So Rango gets up. I'm like, is Devin going to, just accept the knockdown or go for it all? He went for it all, and to his credit, he got Rango out of there. The stoppage was pretty questionable. Was it a legit stoppage or not? But Alexander, to his credit, did what he had to do and did it, beat Urango decisively better than anybody beat him, which is high praise for someone like as young as Alexander is, 23 years, 22, 23 years old, handling Urango his first TKO KO loss. So that's big ups to Alexander and what he did. So, I mean, the thinking was after beating Urango, the winner of this fight was going to face Tim Bradley, who's a lot of people since Manny Pacquiao is doing this thing at welterweight, thinking Tim Bradley is the #1 guy at junior welterweight. So everyone's thinking, Devin Alexander, the winner of Alexander-Urango, would fight Tim Bradley. Then you see, as Max Kellerman's, doing the thing with Devin at the end of the fight, you see Zab Judah come up, and I'm thinking, Zab Judah, former Don King fighter, Alexander, current Don King fighter, and Zab Judah has, ties to fighting in St. Louis where he defeated Corey Spinks. And, he showed up in the interview and, said that, he's ready for Devin, and, Devin, stating that he's ready for Zab. So, surprisingly, this fight might take place, instead of Bradley Alexander, which is, it's a surprise because a lot of people now thinking that Alexander and Bradley are the top 2 people at 140 now, and to see Zab Judah, possibly get that fight is, I don't know if it's bad for boxing. I just think that it's just surprising that out of the blue nobody probably would have saw this prior to the fight that Zab Judah would probably face Alexander in the future. But that's getting far too ahead of ourselves right now. Big up to Alexander again for pulling out the fight, and I'm looking to see good things from him. So next we move on to Big Darchinyan, proud jewel of Gary Shop Promotions, on Showtime again. defending against an unknown Mexican. I think Rodrigo Guerrero. Vic Darchinyan, going into this fight, no one knew anything about Guerrero. Basically, that he's from Mexico and he hasn't really faced anybody. Vic Darchinyan, come in, two belt holders, two belts at 115. Just basically everybody's seen it as a tune-up, just a tune-up for a possible rematch with what's the guy's name? The 112. Nonito Donaire. That's what he's. They trying to get that rematch where Nonito knocked him out. So Vic Darchinyan going into this fight, just basically a tune-up. He handled this thing. He didn't stop the guy. The guy was very tough, young, durable guy. Went 12 rounds. Vic gave him high praise. Said, he's one of the toughest guys that he's ever fought. He's real. He's durable. He took some hard shots all night from Vic. Vic was just doing that will with him. What he wanted to do. Now, looking at at the result and looking at what's ahead for Vic Darchinyan, Nonito Donaire, is a good rematch fight. Everybody wants to see it, to see if Nonito, who hasn't done much since the fight, is he, as good as that knockout says he's, as the knockout says he's that good. Was it luck or, was he really the better person that night? That's yet to be seen. Pretty sure we're going to see the rematch. So that's something to look forward to in the future. Vic Darchinyan, Nonito Donaire Part 2. So it's going to be a good scrap. We're going to see, when that happens, possibly the fall or whenever. So another win from Vic Darchinyan, So this is World Rank signing out. Leave your comments, your questions, anything for me.